Righto boys, so what we're going to do is start with some basic InDesign stuff. So startup, text boxes, background filling, which is important because it's a little different. Use of pages, using master pages, which is pretty important, and also buttons. So in InDesign, if we go to File, New, you want to do File, New Document, okay, because a book won't really matter for what we're doing for this. It is a new document. Even though it's going to be a web-based file, it's still called a document. So you click on document. Now the thing that you must change in here, well, you don't have to change, but I would suggest you change it because it just changes the size of your page, is the intent. Now if we're creating a shockwave file, it's obviously creating for the internet, so the intent will be web. Straight away you'll see it changes page size. The actual measurements go to pixels, obviously to suit the pages. 800 by 600, that can change to 640 by 480, which is another standard size. It also changes our orientation, makes it landscape rather than portrait. And so that's really what you need to do. I just changed the page size then, but you don't really need to. As soon as you hit web, you can leave it as that, but I like just to have it a bit smaller, 640 by 480, and then just hit OK. So we've got our page. Now, first off, this pink line here, okay, the pink line is for, or purple line is to make sure people put stuff inside this area. I'm pretty sure what it's for is to make, when people actually print these documents, it gives a guide of printable area. You do not see this purple line when you are printing or saving or publishing or anything like that. This is just a guide, and I'm sure you can turn it off. I think you can view grids and guides. This is a smart guide. No, it's not that one, but I have turned it off before. It's very easy to turn off, so yeah, it doesn't really matter. It is a good guide actually to keep things even and inside the space. Righto, so on my list here I did say text boxes, but I'm going to cover background fill first. Now there is no place for you just so you can select it and hit color, okay, and that's for a number of reasons. One, InDesign initially was designed for printing documents, so if you wanted your background to be purple, then you would obviously just put purple paper into the printer and then print on purple. So if you wanted to do some sort of colored background, which most of you will, you do have to draw a box and then fill that box in. So with the rectangle tool, okay, I'm just going to leave a white border, so I'm going to go from this, I'm going to use this purple line as a guide. Now it obviously didn't fill because my fill color is null. So if I double click this, the box is still selected. You see the little anchor points, and choose a color and choose a really soft yellow. It will go yellow, okay, and that's as simple. That's how you fill, and that's the only way you fill. Okay, so when you ask, oh well, how do I want to fill it in, that's what you need to do. Okay, so that's probably, you know, covers that part. Next part, text boxes. It's very simple. Click on the T. This part would be pretty easy for most people because it's, you know, a really simple sort of thing. So I can just type, this is a text box for a tutorial. Okay, so I wanted a bit of text there. Now you can do a number of things with the text box. Once you select, use the selection tool, I can do a number of different things with the text box. I can put a drop shadow on the text box. Okay, I'll move this out of the way so you can see what I mean. Preview. Alright, so it gives the text a bit of depth. Obviously all of these, you've used them before. They can do a number of different things. But yeah, drop shadow obviously shows it up how easy it is. Okay, so that's how we do that. Next thing is pages. Okay, so this is a document. You guys are going to create interactive pages, so you will have to look at pages. If you don't see it, just go to Window, Pages, just there, but it should be up. It's one of the most important parts of InDesign. Now we've got one page here. Okay, above this line, we've got this master page. So a master page means that anything that you've created using this master page will happen on every page. Okay, and it'll seem simpler when I show you here. So if I was just to draw on this page a simple, okay, draw a simple, let's say blue box. Okay, I'll just change that, that's fine. So a simple green box, that's fine. Okay, and now if I go to new page in the pages area, you'll see it's a blank page. Now if I double click on the master page, okay, the A master, and you'll see these pages correlate to the A master, that's why they have the little A there, and I draw a little box here and I make it a colour. You'll see now on every page, and I'll double click back on this page 1, I've got that purple box there, and then I'll go there, I've got this little purple rectangle. Okay, so that's how I apply things to the master. This is very important. The reason is because when you're doing navigation, you only need to put the buttons to navigate on the master page, and then they'll be applied on every page. So if I was going to put, let's say, a button down here, alright, let me just spin that around to make it look like an arrow. Okay, now that's on the master page. So if I double click on page 1, you'll see that this, obviously it needs to make sure it's always on top. And I'll probably make sure it's smaller anyway so you can see it. But now it's on these areas here. So say page number 2, it's going to be there. So any action that I apply to this master page here, and I'll double click back here, any action that I apply will put it on every page. Okay, so it is a time-saving technique that you need to use. And buttons. Okay, so buttons. Let's say this is the button I've just created. Alright, I'm going to fill it with yellow. I'm also going to make it small enough so I can, looks like a little arrow there, just like the one we have on our main page, just like that. Okay, that's just a button. So you can then go to Window, Interactive, and Buttons, and this is the buttons area. So I've got this selected, and it's asking me, there's nothing here yet, but this plus is the only thing I can do, which means add new action for selected event. So if I click on this, I can go to a certain page. Okay, I can go, what the best probably thing would be go to next page because it's on the master. Okay, so let's just make sure I did have the master selected. I did. So the master now has this little button meaning go to next page. Alright, I can then change the state. So in normal state it's yellow. When I hover over it with my mouse, okay, I can make it a different color, and I'll do that by double clicking the fill, make it a red-ish color. So when I roll over it, it becomes that. Alright, and we'll just leave it at that for now. I can hit this little preview spread here, and you'll see how it hovers and goes to that next state. So the good thing about creating that button on the master page, if I go back to pages, okay, when I go to page 1, that will work. Well, don't worry about it's not hovering over because it will. Okay, so it'll go to page number 2. Obviously for this one I would need to do a page go to previous page here so I can go back and forth with the pages. Alright, and that's pretty simple. That's the basics we're going to look at. We're going to look at today. So you know, just to start, you need to understand, you know, you can create text boxes. Actually, the last thing I'll show you is this frame tool. The frame tool allows you to map out your page where you're going to put images and text without putting images and text in it. So I could go to File, Place. Okay, I've got that selected. I would find an image on my desktop somewhere. What have I got here? No. Pictures. There we go. That'll have to do. Okay, so I've selected and it's put into that place box. If I select this place box, I can go Command D or place. I'll hit Command D and choose another one, and it will place it into that area. Alright, now it doesn't suit. Alright, I can right click then and I can go to fitting and I can fit the content, which is the flag, to the frame. And then you'll see it warps it a little bit, puts it in. I'll do the same for this one. Fitting, fit content to frame. Need to just select it first. Okay, so now we've got our images in there. So that's how we use the place tool. Now that's really the basic stuff, and that's about it.